name is Carly. My pronouns are they, them, and welcome to my writing vlog, where I'm documenting creating a first draft while also running an indie imprint and having a 9 to 5. I'm also not only doing the indie imprint, I also do markets where I sell yarn, where I go with my spinning wheel, and I have had a sort of someone put me in touch with someone who wants to get rid of spinning wheels. The thing is that on my last market, my old spinning wheel really started playing up, and I was feeling really worried about not being able to use it anymore. So because these are secondhand spinning wheels, I'm going to see whether one of them might be suitable for my needs. Um, it all depends, like what kind of condition they're in, what price. Um, because one of the things that I offer when I'm at the market is that kids can um, try out my old spinning wheel. The thing is that my old spinning wheel is really knackered now because it has like a few seasons of kids jumping around on it, because most kids of a certain age don't, and they're not interested in the particulars. What they want to do is make the wheel go round. So I really, especially as the last market was really quite damp in the mornings, it was really creaky and it took me ages to get it going. So basically, I'm auditioning for a possible new employee for my yarn business. So this is going to happen this week. And then I'm also, just working on my probably short novel. The working title is The Sealskin Throne, and it's a queer fantasy set in the world that I set all my stories in. At the moment, I'm thinking at sort of, I thought it was a novella, but I think it's probably more going to be around like 50,000 words or something. At the moment, I'm in chapter 7, and we're sort of slowly getting the plot rolling. I might be able to pull it off in 25 chapters, but I'm not feeling that optimistic, which is why I've not used like one of like the thicker, more expensive notebooks, but this little booklet here, which has sort of 120 pages, and I can just use for, I have a few of those, so I can use a couple more depending on what I'm end up doing. And apart from that, the writing, I'm still in a big reading phase, so that's great. I have a few newer fantasy books on hold at my local library, so I'm waiting for those to come in. In the meantime, I'm reading through the books that I got from the library last week. And then at the weekend, there's BristolCon. And that's usually something. So I did it for the first time last year because Bristol is quite close to me. I'm only going for a day, but so of this Saturday, which is the longer day. And last time it was really great fun and a lovely community, very down to earth, very friendly, very open minded. And so I definitely wanted to repeat the experience. I'm basically I'm due to be on a panel there about fat characters. Why are all the heroes are always very thin and very hot and conventionally attractive, let's say, while villains are so often characterized by being fat? Or like that's sort of the gist of the panel. So I'm really looking forward to it. That's so up my street, and it's a good possibility to talk about my series as well, because I will have like a little reading slot as well that morning. So I'm also needing to choose a passage that I'm going to read, and I wanted to connect to the theme of the panel because this is right before then. So at the moment, I'm discussing with myself whether I should read a passage from the last volume that's out on the 11th of November, not 11th, the 15th of November, which is for me is a tiny bit of a spoiler, but it's of the heart of the whole series anyway. And I mean, it's I think it's a mild spoiler, and probably people will have forgotten about it when I at the end of it if they really start to read the whole series. So yeah, so that's one of the things I need to figure out today. What passage I might choose. Yeah, that's just the one I have in mind, and then because it's also very focused on Slo's the main character's body and magic, um, which sort of but you don't need a great many other bits to understand what's going on because it's sort of very in the moment. But yeah, I might have to think about that again. I'm sort of giving myself today to come to at least closer to a solution to that. Apart from that, so everything apart from my trolley is in the car. All the books are there, which is great. And basically, it's almost done. I mean, I need to charge my card reader. I think that's the main thing. I can't forget that. But apart from that, let's see. And I'm taking you with me. See you in a bit. It's Wednesday, but because I have so much stuff still, so that I want to use up because I am away at the end of the month, I actually didn't go to the market. I mean, I walked over it, but I didn't pick anything up because I think I need to focus on emptying what I already have, and did like a quick had to pick up some prescriptions and picked up a library hold. Um, that's actually not one of my original fantasy hauls, but yeah, um, I've almost finished the little nonfiction one about the cuckoo, so that's going to be the next one. Um, and then I had, I think, good writing session. I think I'm getting into the nitty gritty now. Um, we're now into like proper cell key territory, and stuff is happening. Um, on the downside, my mobile SD card just crashed, so I will have to get a new one to document everything that's going on. At the moment, I can only take photographs because there's not enough space on there for videos. So bear with me while I sort that out. It's definitely not something that I wanted to take care of this month as well, especially as that SD card is not that old yet, which is really annoying me. Um, but yeah, things break all the time. So that's where we are. Yarn wise, I'm working on a commission for the community shop. It's basically like a purple and turquoise yarn that basically was sold very quickly. So they asked me if I could do like a similar batch. So I'm still working on that. And yes, I also bought a third spinning wheel, which was not what I planned to do, but it happened. It's just I'm trying to get my old spinning wheel working again, but it's the problem is if it doesn't work well, the kids get frustrated and then they really stomp on it, and then obviously it's getting more out of shape. So I think we might be at, yeah, we might be somewhere where it's just no longer viable that I use this for the markets, which was why I've basically um was open to the suggestion to get a third spinning wheel. And then when I came there, it turned out that this is actually a spinning wheel I know from someone who passed quite recently. Um, I didn't know her particularly well. This was her daughter, and her mother was very into spinning, was part of the spinning group that I was a member of um, when I first came to the UK. And the wheel was like, it's beautifully kept. So even though it's not the third wheel that I'd sort of envisioned for myself, I think it was a pretty savvy business decision to still buy it. Um, so I will have to decide what to do with the old wheel. It's breaking my heart because it's like my first one. It's always been a bit tricky. I really don't know if I can get it going again. It's just very difficult. I mean, that happened sort of in the last few markets where I think it started to, yeah, just be unhappy. But it also takes away, it's like too big to keep for ornamental purposes, but I can't very well, I really can't sell it as a working spinning wheel, I think. And it's also, it's not old, it's not really truly vintage. Again, I could probably sell it as an ornament, but I think I would feel bad about it, especially as it's so battered. Um, so yeah, I have to decide what I'm going to do. If I'm going to maybe just keep parts of it, maybe I managed to get someone to see it and maybe tweak it a bit and get it going again. But I think it's just, it never ran like completely even. And I think that has just been exacerbated through like two market seasons now. I mean, that's why you usually don't let kids loose on the spinning wheel. And I mean, that was a calculated risk that I had to take. But obviously, as I said, the more it was out of shape, they try to get it going. And um, that's where we are now. It's going to be very sad, especially as this is a very unusual wheel. I get lots of comments when I'm out and about with it from people who know what, like, know their way around the spinning wheel. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've done so many projects on it. I've used it for 20 years almost. So it's quite bitter if I have to say goodbye. Yeah, we'll see. Um, Maybe I just need to store it in the shed, which is not going to do it any favors, but that might be just on in the shed with sort of a tarpaulin over it or something. That might be the only option that I have left. Okay. But yeah, writing wise, everything's okay. I've been starting to look at the program for the World Fantasy convention that I'm going to be at in Brighton in 2 weeks' time. Um, so far, so I've basically put my name down for a workshop which is specifically about stationery and ink, and that really intrigued me because, yeah, just maybe to meet other people who share a bit of my process. And then there are a few panels I'm definitely interested in. And on Friday, there's sort of a mass autographing session. Um, and I've put my name down for that one as well. So basically, even if you're not on any panels or something, you just need to attend, and then you're allowed to be there and probably get a chair and a little table. So that's what I'm doing, which is nice. It sort of gives me, because I sort of fumbled up the participation thing. I mean, it doesn't mean that I would have been placed on any panels, but I didn't even clock how to put my name down to register interest in being on a panel. Um, but this weekend is going to be BristolCon, and I'm only there for the Saturday. But and I think I'm going to know. I know what I'm going to read. I think I'm going to stick to my original plan. I looked at the passage that I had in mind yesterday. I think you don't need to know an awful lot of the whole world. It just gives you a taster, and it's connected to Slow's body as well, and have them like feeling in their body. And I think that's a nice passage to choose. So yeah, probably going to do that one. And um, yeah, it's last year. I I didn't realize that I could just park at the hotel, and I got myself like a parking space that was quite far away, and I put everything in the suitcase and walk quite a long way. This time I'm just risking it that I can actually park there. So I hope they sort of figured or calculated like sort of a space per person or something, or per dealer. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to it. As I said last year, it was just an amazing convention, and then we'll sort of prepare for Brighton, and it's going to be my um, autumn holiday. So now I need to order an SD card so I can actually take some videos and more photos than two. Yeah. I also, what might be interesting to know, received a claim via the website for the legal deposit libraries in the UK. So I also sent out an order today for the claim that they made. So basically, they will tell you, so there are, I think, 5 or 6 deposit libraries in the UK where they basically want every book that is printed, and they claimed 4 copies of The Boy Who Played the Queen. So that's an order I had to do today. I sent it directly from Ingram Spark because I thought about sending copies that I already have. But the thing is that I don't really. I haven't calculated time for me to order new books in case I'm 5 copies short. So I decided to um, print and ship them directly from Ingram Spark, which is probably, yeah, another expense I could have avoided if I had known about the SD card failing. It's like weird. It's sort of the last third of the month at the moment is very much me trying to avoid paying things. I mean, not like bills and stuff that I need to pay, but like not buying like the fancy bread that I really like. Um, Trying, yeah, not to be really careful with food waste so I don't actually have to get rid of stuff that I bought before I go away. Like, stuff like this that you should do anyway. But it just strikes me like once we've sort of passed the 20th, at the moment, it's getting very complicated to, especially as I know that sort of Brighton falls in between. So if there's going to be paid during the time I'm in Brighton, um, but I still want to have some, just reserves. And so I'm not there and really needing to count the pennies. That's not much fun. But I have to say that's sort of the fate of an indie author if you're not coming from like a hugely wealthy background. Is it's always about getting enough money in to do stuff, um, and because you have to pay for so many things in advance, like stamp fees and other stuff. So you have so many outgoing costs before you have the chance to recuperate them. And this year, I'm really feeling it, which is fine, which was expected. But yeah, we'll see. Wish me luck, and I'll see you soon. I just noticed that something very special lay in front of my door, and because my there's no storage on my phone, I have to film it like so. And this is my very first hard edition book copy. It's, oh, that looks amazing. So I went for this very dark blue cloth to bind it. But the most spectacular thing really is the foiling. So what I did was that I proofread the paperback and then used the corrected file to order a hardback edition just to see how it looks. And don't know if you remember, but I had like a slight font issue. But that seems to be utterly resolved. They all look good. I did not go for like special end papers or so, and it does literally apart from the foiling and the jacket, it does not have any special things. But yeah, it's just yeah, the map looks good again because it goes through the gutter. Um, yeah, I had to sort of pull it out a bit. Um, but I think that looks good. The paper looks good. It just looks very pretty. So I'm very pleased with that. So it's really nice. And the dog. It's also not some so most of the hardbacks of sort of the best-selling variety you get in the library. Just huge. And this is a nice 6 by 9. It's just a nice size to handle. It's not too overwhelming, really. And I was not sure what I should go with. I mean, silver foiling was sort of out of the question, but they have like a holographic foiling, so I was very tempted by that. But because it's the sun and flame duology, I think gold, like with a warm tone, like the warmth is very much the point of those two gifts that combines that sort of, yeah, that combines into their magical power. So I went with gold, and I think the blue and the gold is just stunning. The next one will be more for greenish, but green and gold is also sort of a classic combination. Yes, it's fine. So no, that's a really good. It's not really a surprise because obviously I've waited for it, but it actually arrived sooner than I thought it would, because originally it says of dispatch on the 21st, and today's the 22nd. So I was not expecting it to show up today, but yeah, great. I will definitely show this off to a writer friend of mine who uses the same service for his hardback books, though I don't think he has done a jacket, like a wrap around jacket before. But yeah, just to show him and see what he thinks, if anything should be changed, because there's still some time to adjust stuff. This is why we do it this early. So yeah. So now I can relax. I can have a nice evening. I think I make myself some tea and then see what kind of like I plunder my fridge and see what I need to use up. And then we'll go into more writing later in the week. See you in a bit. The sun is coming at a weird angle, so I had to sort of turn the camera around a bit, so it's not blindingly bright. Yes, I had a really good time at BristolCon yesterday. I think I did quite well. I think because of the World Fantasy Con next week, it might have been a bit quieter than in other years, but it was still a lovely experience. I talked to many, many people, met lots of other stall holders, and yeah, it was really nice. But as I expected, I'm really tired today. Thankfully, the clocks went back this morning, so I had a bit more sleep than I usually would have. I'm going to the lake later on and try if I can get a bit more writing done. But apart from that, this was a really good week. And I think this is a really good point to stop this week's vlog. If you like my sort of a bit more rambly, a bit more, okay, this is what I do in a day thing, um, give me a follow and a thumbs up for this video, and I'll see you soon. If you would like to receive the first volume of my Slow Moon series for free, please sign up to my newsletter and I'll send you a sign up gift in form of an EPUB. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.